There's a massive game this weekend, Spurs versus Liverpool, but which team is going to finish higher in the Premier League this season? That's what we're going to battle out this week on You Decide. We've got Paul from the Red Men TV and we've got Flav from the Fighting Cock. Nice gangster. This is how it's going to work. There's going to be an opening statement and a closing statement. In between that, there's going to be 3 rounds. We're going to talk about how their teams are with the ball, how they are without the ball, and then in the dugout and in the stands. So essentially the managers. Let's get straight into it. Who's going to go first this week? Well, you're at home, Flav, so why don't you go first with your opening statement? Why are Spurs going to finish higher than Liverpool?
It's just something I know really now. It's the last 7 years we've finished 6 times above Liverpool. It wasn't like that for many years, and had a tight experience of supporting Spurs in the shadow of Liverpool's dominance. But it just hasn't been that way for a long time. Pretty much since Harry Redknapp took over. And Benitez had his meltdown. So it's something we got used to. I do respect Liverpool and how good they are, but they're just not as good as Tottenham.
Paul?
Yeah. You know what? If we'd done this a week ago, this would have been a decent race. Would have been, listen, Liverpool are resurgent. We've had time under the manager now. He's had time to implement his ideas to the players. He's brought some of his own players in as well. But we lost to Burnley. So all that confidence and bravado's gone out the window.
Well, you had 81% possession.
That's as good as a win, isn't it? That's the kind of thing that keeps Roberto Martinez in work. Yeah. Stats like that. But no, look, not to let the optimism of the season evaporate after 2 games. I think all those things remain true. I think we've got a better manager, and I think we've got a couple of players who are better than areas that Spurs aren't as good as. I think it'll be close, but ultimately I think Liverpool will come out just about on top this season. That was fucking there you go.
Vote now after those opening statements. Which team's going to finish higher, Spurs or Liverpool? According to those both stellar opening statements, vote right now. First round, without the ball. So this is sort of, without the ball. A lot of gegenpressing, a lot of all that stuff. But which team is better? Spurs or Liverpool? Paul, do you want to go first without the ball? How are Liverpool better than Spurs?
If you'd asked me a week ago, I'd have been Liverpool. Yeah, great. You know, we gegenpress, we press high up the pitch, we put other teams and opposition players on the back foot, and we look to get in faces and upset people, and start attacks off further up the pitch. However, we then lost to Burnley and had 80% possession of the football. I think the idea is that everyone looked to Jurgen Klopp's Borussia Dortmund side and said, nah, everyone wants a bit of that. When you're not in possession, what you want to see is hunger, and you want to see desire from your players to go and win that back. And whether we've achieved that just yet, no, I don't think we're quite there. But that is what the guy's driving towards. That's what we saw all pre-season, and it's going to click at the Premier League at some point. Is it going to be this weekend against Spurs? Yes.
With Liverpool, you've brought in a few players this year. So how are those players going to make a difference in your defence this year?
Well, it'll mean Simon Mignolet's not starting football matches, which would be nice. Because, we've brought Loris Karius in, not a lot of people, people who are students of the Bundesliga will tell you that I think he was the second best goalkeeper in the league last season. He's a beautiful man as well, which helps you all your merchandising sales, like, you know what I mean?
He's good looking.
We've got that. That's one thing in the back, having a little bit of a cooler head, a guy who doesn't get flustered when he's in possession of the football. What Liverpool did at Burnley was we were pressed, our defence was pressed, and the guys fell to pieces. Having someone who exudes calm from the goalkeeper position, as we saw for Paul Street FC, can be a big deal. Spencer's team had it in spades, and we didn't have it quite so much. But no, we've got Joe Matip to come in as well, who again was in the stats-wise was in the top performers in the Bundesliga for centre halves last season. He's a big fella as well. Something we've lacked is a truly commanding centre half. And with those 2 guys in, I don't know, maybe an additional left back. Liverpool have got the defence that we're seeing from Liverpool right now, which has been god awful this season, is absolutely going to get better as the season progresses. Spurs
are essentially most defensive. They've never been more defensively sound.
Nice.
Ever since I've been watching the game for 30 years. We're very steely. We've brought in Wanyama, who's complemented Dyer, but when Dembele gets back, he isn't back for this game, which is a massive shame. Gives Liverpool an advantage, I reckon, in that area. But with Wanyama, Dyer, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, We've got a defensive four in the centre of the park that's as good as anyone else's in the league. The pressing game is very difficult to get right. When you get right, you're unplayable. And the times when you get it wrong, you get punished quite early. So I think ultimately, from the evidence I've seen, Liverpool are still a work in progress, and Spurs are closer to what I would consider to be a complete team with the players that we had. We just need new faces, probably.
And with Pochettino, with that, the way he plays, will the defence struggle a little bit with Champions League football as well? The fact that you do like to press without the ball, is that going to affect your defence this year? Because Liverpool don't have to worry about that.
How seriously we're going to take the Champions League? Probably not that very seriously. Get out the group games, earn a bit more money, and just bin it off because you've got no chance of winning it. That's the case.
Where's your romanticism?
Yeah.
You're romantic.
I'm romantic about every game. I don't need to go off and play going to Istanbul and come back from 3 goals and all that rubbish.
Yeah, waste of time. Waste of time. End of round 1 then. I think the big thing here is that Liverpool have brought in a few players to sort out a defence. There's been no question marks over the Spurs defence. And Moreno. I mean, come on. Spurs win that first one.
In terms of good-looking players, we've got Alderweireld, really good-looking defender.
Yeah.
Jan Vertonghen, I'd give him a go. So.
As a boyfriend, a long-term thing, or
just a quick time.
Right. Wish I hadn't asked. That's what I think about it. But let us know what you think. You can vote right now. Round 2. with the ball, with the ball in a game of football. No innuendo with that at all.
I don't ever get giving some of the tugs an innuendo.
I think it's quite clear.
It is what it is.
Flav, you can go first this time. So why are Spurs better than Liverpool with the ball, and therefore why are they going to finish high in the league this year?
Honestly, I'm not sure there is much difference between us.
Is that you conceding defeat in the first sentence?
I just think I saw what Liverpool did against Arsenal. I think Mane is much the better player than people assumed. Mane?
Is that you, the ghost of Mane?
The building disagrees.
We have quality all over the pitch, starting from our fullbacks, offering all the width that we need in Pochettino's system. Brilliant defensive unit in Wanyama and Dyer. Alderweireld and Vertonghen are all ball-playing midfielders as well. And then we've got great strikers. Harry Kane scores goals for fun. A great backup to Janssen, and options for Kane to play them both up front together, which we didn't have last season. I think, based on the first 2 games we've seen so far, there's been some issues, but when it comes, Spurs will be an amazing attacking force with the football this season.
Paul, in terms of Liverpool, they do look strong going forward this season. In terms of comparing them with Spurs, maybe run through your team and why they're better than some of the Spurs players.
I think getting forward, I think what you will see from Liverpool is more of a 4-3-3 this season, and when it works, as we saw in the start of the second half against Arsenal, what that means is you've actually got 5 players committed to attack, whereas last season when we played 4-2-3-1, it was 4 players, and kind of similar to you guys playing along those lines in that formation as well. So what that means is, in potential, depending who starts up front. Now, we could see Roberto Firmino start up front again, and what he does is he has phenomenal games in the big games. If Sadio Mane is fit and available, my God, the guy is incredible. He's the closest thing I've seen to us having a world-class player since Luis Suarez left, and it's early doors on that, but just in terms of his pace and his direct running, he's something else. You know, we've got guys who've got a bit of pace, and we've got guys who've got some good touch and stuff, but he is just, you know, when he wants to beat someone, and he can go anywhere he wants. He goes down the wing, he can cut inside, take a shot, as we saw against Arsenal, cuts into on his left foot, smash it in past the top quality goalkeeper as well, which is something you don't have at the moment because yours is injured, and it's something we don't have at the moment because we just don't. But you know, and then that's Firmino, that's Mane. You got Daniel Sturridge, who hasn't been in great form so far this season, but you know, you're talking about Harry Kane in terms of natural goal scorers. Daniel Sturridge, Harry Kane, is there any real difference in terms of that? You know, when Daniel Sturridge is fit, he's a 1-in-2 centre forward, which is exactly the same as what Harry Kane is. We've now got 5 positions where every one of those positions has potentially got double figures goals in it. So yeah, we are a blitzkrieg of attacking rage ready to be unleashed upon the Spurs defence.
Don't give him the point
week.
for that.
That was pretty good, yeah. That's pretty good. Are there any Liverpool players that would make it in the Spurs team going forward?
A combination of Mane and Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum, I've said it before, rate him massively. Really, really gutted Spurs didn't sign him. I think he's a brilliant player.
He would have been on your shortlist because he was on ours.
Yeah. All right. It's true. Liverpool are obsessed with Spurs having the same scouting system as Liverpool. We just copy them. Yeah. Mane, obviously, fantastic signing. A lot of money, but who cares in the current transfer market?
Would they get in ahead of any of your players then?
Yeah, I think they would. I think Wijnaldum would get in ahead of Eriksen, and a left-hand side needs work. So probably, yeah.
Great honesty from Flav. Paul, can you offer up the same honesty? Are there any players in that Spurs side that were getting ahead of your first 11?
I'd have Dele Alli because we should have Dele Alli. We got to we had him. He was there. He wanted to join us, and we could have just got Steven Gerrard down, got him to impress him because he loves Gerrard, and we never did. So I'd have Dele Alli all day long. And to be fair, Harry Kane, I don't understand him. I don't understand how he scores so many goals because he's not fast. He's not dead tall. He's like a Pez player, isn't he? He's like a generic footballer figure, and everything about him is so run of the mill. Apart from the fact that he scores goals for fun. Yeah. But that's the difference.
You'd say the same about Shearer, wouldn't you?
No, because Alan Shearer.
Say the same about Fowler, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but no, because he had personality.
Well, funny you said that.
And he had a tongue that fitted inside his mouth as well.
If Kane scores, that doesn't matter. If Kane scores in his next game, he'll have the same game to goal ratio as the man you used to call God.
Yeah, 50, it would have hit 50 goals in the same kind of time as the guy you call God.
Listen, that's fantastic, and you can call him God.
We just call ours Harry.
Harry, yeah, good idea. Not prone to hyperbole, I is his Spurs fan. I would swap Harry Kane for our option simply because he just seems to stay fit and score goals, and our strike force has so much potential. There's potential goals galore in ours. But is Daniel Sturridge going to play 30 games? Is Divock Origi going to play 30 games? Is he going to continue his development? What player is Danny Ings going to be now that he's back after a cruciate knee injury? And can Firmino do it consistently over the course of the season? I'd swap Harry Kane, and then, one or two others will probably pad the squad out nicely. But
Okay, you guys can vote right now. Which team is better with the ball? My vote. There are a lot of variables in this, obviously. Who's going to get injured, who's not. But I would say that Harry Kane hasn't scored in his first 2 games, had an awful Euros, and there's a big dependency on Harry Kane. But there are a lot of goals in this Liverpool team. I'm going to go Liverpool with this one. I think we've got a lot of goals in that team. Scored a lot of goals at the back end of last year, so that's my vote. But as I say, it's down to you guys, so have a vote right now. Final round, round 3. In the dugout, Pochettino versus Klopp. Which team has a better manager? Because we know how important a good manager is in taking a team to possibly the title, or at least above each other. Paul, why is Klopp better than Pochettino?
Everyone knows why and that he is. It's a simple fact. There's nobody who wouldn't want Jurgen Klopp as the manager. It's a simple fact of life, and they're happy with Pochettino because they've had absolute dross in the management hot seat since ever, basically. He's fine. I do actually rate him as a manager, but it's Jurgen Klopp, man. He swears in interviews. He's mental. He speaks his mind. His teams play wonderful, expressive football. I know yours do too, but it's all the extra bits that make Klopp. He's just a fucking mad bastard, and I love him. And Pochettino's just a boring shite, isn't he?
Has Klopp done that much after Dortmund? That complete collapse at Dortmund? Not really.
Pochettino doesn't really get the respect because there are a couple of stats that you can kind of throw at Pochettino. He didn't get as many points as Villas-Boas, who's seen as a failure at Spurs. Yeah. And also, he's a bit earlier down the road in management, isn't he? But he did a very good job at Southampton. He's done a good job. How good a job has he done there? How can put that into
an incredible job. We were in a complete mess. We had Tim Sherwood. Who's
also got more points per game than Pochettino.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. This is, as long as that's a fact, then let's get him back. That's why stats are nonsense. They're bollocks. They don't tell you anything about a football game other than something that You know, people who rely so heavily on stats, I think, don't miss the glory in the game and the romance of it, right? So, anyway, going back to Pochettino, he got 70 points as opposed to AVB's 72. I've never been more bored as a Spurs fan under AVB. I would swap those 2 seasons in a heartbeat. I've got a club that I love now again. I've always loved it, but it was hard to be in love with Tottenham at the time in AVB, where it was such a dull experience. And you talking about why you love Klopp so much, it's that emotive and the kind of passion and the way he talks in interviews. Pochettino doesn't do that, but he has created a team unity and a romance about the way we play that is easy to get behind from within the stands. The Spurs fan base is notoriously difficult to unite, and we are united behind Pochettino. I wouldn't swap him for anybody in the world currently.
I'm not going to choose on this one because I think you've both got the perfect manager for you guys at this moment in time. So I'm not going to choose on that one. But I guess what we'll do is we'll have a vote for that one, so you can vote for that one, but also vote for who's going to finish higher at the end of the closing statements. So this is your last chance to convince people why Spurs or Liverpool are going to finish higher in the league this year, and then they can vote for who they think it will be. Who went first the first time? It was you, wasn't it, Flav?
Yeah.
Paul, you can go first this last time.
Okay, so while Liverpool are going to finish above Spurs this season, listen, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, there's a very, very strong chance that Liverpool will not finish above Spurs this season. Look, you can look at it and you say, historically, Flav's right, you know, bring it up for the last 6 seasons, Liverpool have been absolutely dog shit in the league. Spurs have been slightly better than that and have therefore finished above us. But what's interesting to note is, last season notwithstanding, by and large, Liverpool haven't finished more than a couple of wins away from Spurs in that time. When Spurs have been resurgent, they've been building something, and when we've really been struggling to try and recapture what's known as Liverpool's glory days, Liverpool seem far more fit and set to get back to that, and as they say, ultimately forms temporary, classes permanent. Liverpool belong back at the top table of football. They've got a top level manager and he seems to have the right backing as well. I, as a Liverpool fan, can do nothing but back my team, because if I don't, what's the fucking point of football? I'm a Liverpool fan. I genuinely believe Liverpool can finish right up there at the top of the league, and if that's the case, they will probably, if they have an ultimately successful season, they will finish above Spurs. If they don't win the league, they might finish below them, because Spurs have the ability to deliver that. But, you know, go on the mighty Reds.
Spurs are in an excellent position. Finally, we've got a manager who can apply his game plan philosophy to players that can understand it. I've never been more confident as a Spurs fan that we're actually going to challenge for a league title. Last year was a surprise. This year it's an expectation. But we're confident. The media are not talking about us. And I think for all those reasons, we're going to finish above Liverpool. I think you ask any football fan outside of Liverpool who are going to finish above who, and Spurs will come out 9 times out of 10. So, yeah, Spurs above Liverpool.
There you go. So there you have it. Now you guys decide via the poll cards who is going to finish higher, Spurs or Liverpool. That was beautiful. I thought there was like a lot of good vibes, despite you being sworn enemies in this you decide battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Simmering under
You
the
see them
surface
off camera.
Flav's incredibly dull closing statements.
Still fighting, huh? Still fighting all the time.
Still
Love it. Love it. You guys.
Don't let us audience retention.
So that's it for this week. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to Ball Street and make sure you get your votes in as well. We'll be back next week.